Hello everybody and welcome back to the Combe Valley Campers Q&A Live. I am coming to you from a very chilly East Sussex from Hicks's Garage, my personal garage, and I wish for you to tell me already if it's too noisy or the signal is bad. Two reasons why. One, I've installed a diesel heater in the garage today. Now if that is too loud, then please let me know. I'm sure for the next hour I can either turn it down or turn it off completely. If the signal is bad, it's because I'm here, I'm running off 4G, I have that door shut, we have all the doors and windows in the house shut, which means I'm not getting very good Wi-Fi, if any at all. So straight away, if you are able to maybe make a comment down below, let me know if it's too loud or the signal is too bad, which means you can't see me. Danny Sykes is in straight away. He says, not too loud mate, can hear you fine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit and it might calm itself down, who knows. Because it's been on at 35 degrees for the last probably 2 hours. Trying to heat this concrete and tin shed, basically. So, first of all, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and you had a great New Year as well. What did you get up to? Please leave a comment down below, or we can start the chat down below, because I'd love to know. Personally, myself and my family, we went over to Poland. If you follow us on Instagram, you might have seen our journey over. We had, I'll get into it later, but we had quite a turbulent time getting over to Poland, which was quite amusing. But yes, we went over in our 2K T5 for lots of different reasons, but we went over there, we did some snowboarding with the family, we got the girls skiing lessons, and the reason we go over to Poland is because my wife is Polish. We have land over in Poland, although it's not built on yet, it's just a patch of land, and we go and see all my wife's family over in Poland. We do that most years, but because she lives near the mountains, we have the opportunity to do a bit of snowboarding. Like I said, this year we got our girls some skiing lessons and they can ski now to a very, good level, I suppose. But yeah, it's wonderful to be able to get them on their skis. And we had some friends of ours come over as well. That was wonderful. If you are on Instagram and you follow the likes of Araleski, Russell, his name is, and his family, they all came over to join us in Poland for Christmas. So it was a wonderful, wonderful break. Oh my gosh, John, you have just... I came out here in such a rush, I actually forgot my drink. And I'm not going to be able to shoot out there and get it. What am I drinking? I'm not drinking anything. I had a Hawkstone lager ready to come out and drink with you to celebrate the new year. If I do get 30 seconds, if you will allow me to go out there for 30 seconds, I will go out, I will grab my beer and I will come back in again. But I was gifted some Hawkstone's lager over Christmas, which is the stuff from, it's Jeremy Clarkson's farm, I think. So yeah, Warren is saying go get it. Warren, keep everybody amused for 2 seconds whilst I go and get my beer. Real quick, 1 second. I'm going to hurt myself because I'm rushing. I'll be back. If anybody's just tuned in, I'm going out to the kitchen to go and get my beer. Just going to wait for the door to open. I know, posh, right? Electric door. I didn't fit it. It was here when we moved in. I'll be back. I'm back. Let's hope we haven't lost too many people who've tuned in. Right. Yes. Right. Brilliant. Thank you, Warren. There we go. That's what I'm drinking tonight. Hawkstone Lager. I got it gifted to me. I got a 12 pack of it for Christmas from my mum. If you've not tried it yet, that's actually quite a nice beer. There we go, there we go, there we go. Right, so Warren says go and get it. John's here says run. You need a board to say be right back. Yeah, I do, Warren, actually. That would be quite funny. Back in 5, gone to go and get beer. So yes, we, where was I? Yeah, went over to Poland for Christmas. That was wonderful. First week we had some friends come over, Russell and his family. Loads of fun. Yeah, got some skiing and snowboarding done. Had Christmas Day. They were left just after Boxing Day, I think it was. And then we had a nice week with the family. Did some walking up in the mountains. Really, really good fun. So yeah, so what did you guys do for Christmas? I'd love to know. Leave it down below. Did you go out travelling? Did you stay at home? Did you go and visit relatives elsewhere in the country? What have you guys been up to? Tony says, where's he gone? Still live picture. Yeah, given up. So, is the beer vegan? Sure. Yeah, it is actually. But thank you, Warren. Is it going to zoom in? Look. The beer is vegan. 89 Thunder Chunky's in. He says, Hayley, all the best for New Year. Oh, this is a shame. He said, had to have our Frenchie put down before Christmas, but looking forward, I'm on the hunt for a T45 to convert with a very minimal budget. Hope to make campers and coffee with it. Brilliant. John, well, I'm sorry, very sorry to hear about your Frenchie. That's very, very sad, and certainly not a nice time of year to actually have to go and do that. But if I hear of a T4, T5, I will be straight on to you, mate, and get you on the road in a new van. John Sears says, home for Christmas and family for New Year. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. But like I said, it's wonderful to have you all here. It's great to see the familiar names and faces or profile pictures. Really, really good to see you. So yes, we're drinking a Hawkstone tonight. Leave it down below in the comments. What are you drinking tonight? John, what did John say he was drinking? John Sears drinking a coffee. Alex Renouf is in. He says, sup? How's it going, Alex? Nice to see you. Danny Sykes says the Beetle looks ace in that colour. It really does, doesn't it? Let me put the light on it. It does pop in that colour. However, and if I have shown it before, I've got this picture up on the wall behind me. That is how my vision is. We had these pictures made up by a company that came and traded at Campers and Coffee. One of the first, either the first or second. And as soon as I started rebuilding the Beetle, I thought, I think that's got to be done. What are your thoughts? Let me know. A colour change will be quite simple. And then we can get the graphics done. Might update the logos because the Campers and Coffee logo is a little different now. But yeah, that sits up on the wall behind the workbench behind you. And it's my inspiration, so to speak. Alex says, drinking Lafrague 10. Am I saying that right, Alex? And what is it? Is that a wine? I have no idea. I'm not a connoisseur of any sort of drink. Motivate says, sparkling H2O for me. Nice to see you, Goggy. How's it going? Alex is drinking a whiskey. Oh, that is a whiskey. That sounds like a nice, expensive whiskey. How is it, my man? Warren says he's in the van drinking a Shipyard with the heater warming up. Yes. So, talking of heaters. So as you know, we fit heaters at the workshop. It's the most Smokies whiskey ever. Really nice. Nice, Goggy. So yes, as you know, we fit exclusively auto-turn planar heaters at work. We sell them and we fit them. But what happens is sometimes we get asked to take a faulty or non-functioning heater out of the van. Now, I'm not a fan of Chinese diesel heaters. However, when you get a Chinese diesel heater for free and you make it work, that's where it's going to live. So I now have, allegedly, an 8 kilowatt Chinese diesel heater plumbed into my garage, which means I can work in here more, which means I can get the Beetle done more, I can get the engines built more, and I can give you guys more content. So that's the aim. So that's why I went out and I got that working, that diesel heater. Just needed a pump actually. Once I'd wired it up, I have a 240 to 12 volt transformer, and got that wired up. It fired up straight away, diagnosed the pump was faulty. I had a spare from a different heater. Boof, it's all good to go. So once I plumbed it in, I went down Screwfix today with the help of my friends Warren and Tony. We got the door stop drafted. We got the door stops draft excluded. I've got some shelf brackets. I mean, I managed to mount it on the floor just for tonight, well, and for the future really. But yes, that's what we've done. If I go back up, somebody asked, oh, John, you have a campervan question. Please, John, go ahead with your campervan question. That's what we're here for after all. 89 Thunder Chunky says, I'll be making up a copy on Forza. I do like making random race car liveries on there. Well, that would be cool. If you do get a screen grab of that, let's do that. Warren says, just a thought, could you possibly soundproof the diesel heater box for the lives? Shall I put that over it for a second? See if I can make something. Is it noticeably noisy? It's not any quieter really, is it? I think it's because the heater outlet is literally right there. John Sear says, when it comes to tyres on a camper van, does everyone stick to the 104 load rating commercial tyres? I would say no. However, load rated tyres are the tyres you want to go for. Now, I'm no tyre fitter, I'm no tyre expert. However, at minimum, you should have load rated tyres. They don't always have to be commercial, because with guys, for example, who want to have the lowered look, and they want to put the skinny low profile tyres on huge alloys on a transporter, for example, they will find suitably load rated skinny tyres. They are made. They're not a particularly, do you know what? Andy's just said sounds like a runway at Heathrow. Let me turn it off for a second. Turn off, turn off. Right, that's turning off now. It's going to sound even more like a plane. And if it gets too cold in here, I'll have to turn it back on again because we're only 12 minutes in. But the ambience is pretty, it's okay now. We've had the heater on for long enough. Right. So back to tyres. Yes, so load rated tyres you can get for most, if not all sizes. The vehicles I run in particular, they run more of an off-road / all-terrain tyre, and they naturally come load rated. They say it on the side, but more aggressive tyres are naturally load rated because they're designed for bigger vehicles such as SUVs, 4x4s, things like that. I know Warren in particular, he has effectively 6, is that right? You've got 6 road-going wheels on your van, Warren? And he has got a more aggressive tyre on his van, and they'd all be load rated as well. If you're staying safe and most fuel efficient and quietest, a commercial tyre is probably the way to go. Commercial tyres that are designed for just most vans, they will probably be your cheaper option as well. But I believe 104 is your minimum when it comes to load rating. But in reality, you've got to calculate your axle weight and your gross weight and everything else, and then you can come up with an exact figure. Like I said, the 104 is the minimum. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm getting messages coming in left, right and centre and I just read them. But yes, a load rated tyre is minimum. Commercial tyre is minimum. But if you are choosing on a website like blackcircle.com or anything like that, you do need to go for the load rated tyres, and no matter what size you are. Oh, about the mic. Warren says, not bad, better when you speak as the mic is picking up your voice. Motivates says, quick question please. I'm about to start building the interior and start with the kitchen unit. The diesel heater pipe that we put through just behind the driver's chair has tiny gaps around it. Is there any recommended preferred sealant that's commonly used? I'm trying to think, and the reason I'm thinking is, do you want maybe a rubber trim around the hole? Maybe send me some pictures, Goggy, regarding the pictures of the hole and the gaps you've got. I wouldn't say use a sealant per se, because you want some movement in the hose. And if you were to have one bit set in place, you don't want to split the hose, especially after you've sealed it in. So maybe a foam or a rubber seal in that hole. But send me some pictures, because the install's not fresh in my mind, and we can come up with a solution together. Is that all right? John Sears says thumb it in. Yeah, absolutely. Just thumb the sealant in. Anyway, cheers. Happy New Year, everybody. I didn't really know where this was from. When I got it as a gift, I just thought I got a crate of lager for a gift. But doing a bit of research, yes, that's the Jeremy Clarkson's farm stuff, and it's actually bloody good. And who's tried it? Let me know. So, regarding our trip to Poland then, hands up if you follow us on social media or Instagram, or if you just follow us on YouTube. For those who follow on Instagram, you might have seen this before, but for you on YouTube, you guys on YouTube who don't necessarily follow us on any of the social media platforms, 3 days before we were going to Poland, I sent my wife's BMW up to the garage to go and get some winter tyres fitted. We'd bought the winter tyres. I went to take it up to the garage to get them fitted, and whilst it was there, they went, the BMW sounds a little bit clattery, and a service light was on the dash. So we thought we'd plug it in. Cutting a long story short, there was a low oil pressure issue. So they were going to change the filter and top it up with oil, etc., etc. And then they noticed an oil leak, and the oil leak was coming from the oil filter housing. And when they changed the filter, they did the oil filter housing back up, and it split even further, leading to an even bigger leak. When they contacted BMW to go and get the part, it wasn't going to be here until after we were meant to be leaving for Poland. And that only gave us one option. I had to convert the 2K T5 from what, as you have all seen, as standard panel van into effectively a day van. Luckily, we'd already ordered the Rusty Leigh bed, and we had the parts in the workshop to do it. So in 3 days, we had to sound deaden, carpet line, ply panel the van, fit a heater, fit our new one-piece floor, fit some flooring, fit a Rusty Leigh bed, a bunch of mechanical work. We replaced the drive shafts, we replaced all the brake consumables like discs and pads, did an oil change. Did we do an oil change? No, we just topped up the oil because I hadn't done an oil change that long ago. Basically a bunch of stuff that should have taken 2 weeks, and between myself and all of my good friends who offered to help, we managed to do a van conversion in 3 days, which was absolutely wonderful. Oh, and we painted the van as well. On the Friday night, a friend of mine came over, we prepped the whole van, masked it, painted it, and then demasked it all by 8 a.m. We'd started at 9, I think, in the evening, and by 8 a.m. it was painted. Remarkable efforts. Oh, and we changed the sliding door and fitted a window in that time. It was a remarkable amount of work, and it near on killed me, bearing in mind that day, the day we'd finished, we had to go an hour and a half's drive away to Kent to host Camps and Coffee Christmas. So the paint was finished being laid by 5 a.m. and I'd finished the van by 8 a.m. And by the time I'd gone home, showered, changed, packed, to pick up the van at 10, 11, to then drive to the venue for Campers and Coffee, the paint was actually still tacky. So my wife went to open the door and actually put a massive great thumbprint in it. But it was done. It was done and it was ready, and it took us to Poland. So yes, a rather interesting time to go over there. And one of the only reasons we did take it up there was because it did have the appropriate tyres. Going back to the tyre question earlier, it wears BFG all-terrains, BFG KO2s or KO3 all-terrains, and I knew they'd be suitable, if not perfect, in the snow. They're not as good as a dedicated road-going snow tyre, but they are a fantastic snow tyre all the same. So yes, we had a wonderful time. Now, we did our 2 weeks over in Poland and we went up and down the mountain. We've got some wonderful pictures and videos of the van in the snow. However, we have had some issues with it since. I am not going into it now, but there's some stuff and news to come on the 2K T5. It's been a pretty interesting last week, but yes, there is some funny news coming about the 2K T5 soon. All right, but in the meantime, we have been making plans to work on the Beetle, as you know, the Bay, as you've seen, and Bully, and then we will be doing a full video breakdown on the 2K T5 and the work we did. Unfortunately, we didn't do a lot of filming, if any, over that 3 days because it was just too much of a rush. I did try and film some bits for a reel, but yeah, I had 3 hours sleep in 3 days and I was bushed. And then I didn't have any sleep before hosting Campers and Coffee, but I managed to get a night's sleep in the van before we then head off to Poland the next morning. So yes, crazy, crazy, crazy times, but lots of fun. And the phrase "a friend in need is a friend indeed" comes to mind because I had lots of people offering to help, and we managed to get the job smashed out. So thank you to everybody who helped. I couldn't have done it without you guys, if you are watching, that is. So yeah, really interesting time before Christmas. Got lots of work done, but then we had to do the 2K T5 in 3 days. Yes, not how I planned the end of my year. Right, going back to comments and questions. Right, John actually says, how did the 30mm Dodo mat perform in the 2K T5 renew in Poland? Absolutely brilliantly. Whether that is going to be a commercially available product moving forward, I don't know. That was just thrown in as a temporary because we are planning to do a full video breakdown of the new Dodo mat range, the Easy, the Dead Easy range. So I cannot wait to do that video for you. So the 30mm stuff was just thrown in because it's what we had on the shelf. It was a tester, it was an experiment from Dodo mat, but it did perform very, very well and it covers a lot of space very quickly, and it actually did the job. However, I would prefer the van a bit quieter. We've still got lots of work to do on the van, but as a product, the 30mm liner did very, very well. So thank you very much, John. We also had the heater in there. We had the auto-turn planer in there. That heats up the van in seconds. And the one-piece floor went in beautifully, and the brand new rusty Leigh 3/4 width rock and roll bed. I mean, my girls were comfortable in it. They travelled in the same position for 2 days and they were absolutely comfortable. It was really, really good. So I cannot wait to bring you a full breakdown of the stuff we did and all of the work that was carried out and the news that's coming up about the 2K T5 as well. So look forward to that. Look forward to that. You've got Goody in, he says, they say, Goody, I can't figure out if you're a male, female or otherwise because you just got a transporter as your profile picture. They've said VW2 for all the way. And they've said, I have had a VW for 35 years. Yes, I have been into VWs also for probably about that time. And I've only owned VWs for the most part. We've all gone through our I need a car quick phase. So Goody says, man, now wonderful, thank you Goody, but obviously in today's society, you know I have to be careful. I don't want to offend anybody. That's the last thing I ever want to do. Yeah, because we have friends, followers, customers of all different types. and I don't want to upset anybody. So, especially on a live forum that's recorded and stays on the internet forever. So there we go. So Goody, so you've got a T4 now. Is it a camper van or just a panel van? Now, also, into the comments, people. If you are watching and you have enjoyed the first 25 minutes, or you are just here to snoop and, I don't know, scope out what's going on, give us a thumbs up regardless. If you have, or you can see the little thumbs up that you can click on, please go ahead and do that. It helps me, it helps the channel, and it's really good to get this video out there. I love the live videos regardless of the likes they get, but as a channel, it always helps if you can scroll down or have a look around the screen you're watching from now and hit the thumbs up. That'd be wonderful. Goody says, I've lived in my T4 full time for the last 8 years and converted it myself. Mate, that is remarkable. If I could do it all again, I wouldn't move into a house. I would be living in a van too. But so to say I'm a little envious, I am, yes. So over the Christmas, New Year break, has anybody been working on their vans? Have you been up to anything? I know Warren, who is, he might still be watching right now. Warren's done a bunch of work. If you want to follow his channel, if I can get it right, I say his channel on social media, he is at Silver Fox Builds on Instagram if you want to follow his progress. I know Tony, just before Christmas, has finished a new seating compartment or seating bench for his van as well. That is Lost in a VW on Instagram. Go and follow his stuff as well. Actually, let's put that in the comments. If you are watching us and you do want to share your Instagram handle down below, please leave it down below. I'll read it out so people who watch this video in the future and are interested in seeing different campervan builds, please do leave it down below and we'll do that. Alex says, clean mine today, first time in nearly a year. Oops, well, at least you've done it. Good job, man. Warren's in there and he says, hi. John says, yes, been reshaping ply panels. Good work, John. Goggy says, could you refresh my memory on the passenger door foot pod leak? I cannot fix it. I've cleaned the rubber trims and now my rubber seal that makes the door not slam has started coming off from the dampness. I think you need to have your van dry completely. Maybe even take the door pod off, maybe even take the door step out, maybe even take the front cab mat out and make sure the van is 100% dry. Then, and only then, hit it with a jet wash. Hit it really hard with a jet wash. Maybe even lay some paper towels, like blue roll towels down, because then you will instantly be able to see what the leak is and where it's coming from. And we've done this in the past when we've had other vehicles. As long as the area you're wanting to test is completely dry, lay down some fresh blue roll towels, etc., etc., and you'll be able to see exactly where and when they get wet. If you hit the van with, say, a jet wash or something, mimic some heavy rain or mimic continued rain over a period of time, and then you'll be able to find the leak. Over the phone or over the internet and a live thing, I don't know how many more suggestions I can make, Goggy, but I think you need to take it a step further to diagnose where it's coming from. And yeah, starting with a completely dry van is a good shout. On that note, actually, we did actually find a leak on the 2KT5 when we were rebuilding it, because what I had done is forgotten to put in the bolts after we'd removed the roof rack system that was on it when we bought it. So I've had a leak for a year because I forgot to put the bolts back in. I undid it for the video, completely forgot to put them back in. When we lifted the cab floor to do the leisure electrics, we noticed that the floor mat was severely damp. I wondered why it was getting damp. And yeah, we then had a look on the roof and it was like, no bolts in there. So yeah, we sealed them up. Neil West has come in. Good evening, Neil. He says, do you do the carpentry for camper vans or buy in? Now, traditionally, we've always done both. We have an in-house cabinet maker, and he does custom builds. Generally now, we buy in interiors. A lot of people are looking more to the pre-built systems because bespoke carpentry is not getting any cheaper. And that's not down to the carpenters or the cabinet makers, it's just down to the material cost, and it's down to labour cost and cost of living, etc., etc. Plus, it's very difficult to quote for that work when you are in the estimation stages. So for us as a business, bearing in mind we've been doing custom builds for 8 years, it is actually a lot more convenient and a lot more cost effective for us to buy in furniture. As sad as that is. Girolamo Luciarini, good evening. They've said, how's it going? I'm going very well, actually, thank you. I'm in my semi-warm workshop or garage behind my house. I have a cold beer, so I'm doing pretty well. And I'm speaking to you fine people, so yes, I'm very, very happy. Goody says, I've got a list of things to do, bits of rust to tackle, painting it this year, satin white, but first is to change the crap gearbox as it's on its last legs. ABL 1.9 TD 1999, so that will be the T4. Gearboxes are a pain, aren't they? I'm actually having a friend of mine come over in the next couple of weeks because we are going to be converting Bully's gearbox from a 5-speed dogleg box to a 4-speed traditional shift pattern box. It's doable, but you need some bits. And that's why I'm asking for my friend to come over and help me. Because although I've done gearbox work before, I've not done it to this extent. Although you think a gearbox is just an easy change, going from a 5 to a 4-speed does have some difficulties, and I've not done that before. So I'm asking my friend, who's more of an expert than I am, to come over, and he will be helping me out. So, and we will be filming, so that's good. Neil West says, where are you? I'm trying to get into the industry. We are down in East Sussex. We're just outside a small village called Leigh, but just north of Eastbourne. Sort of, if you say halfway in between halfway in between Brighton and Hastings, we are about there. Yes, down in East Sussex. And he says CNC machines are a game changer. Correct, they really are. However, I don't have the time at the minute to learn another skill. I have always wanted to learn CNC programming. I've always wanted to get all the designs that are in my head out there and on a computer and in a machine. However, at the moment, I just don't have the capacity to learn a new skill, which is why we have some fantastic people close by that do all of our CNCing for us. Plus, also, we are working with Campervan Furniture, and they are doing some wonderful things with furniture if you want to go and check them out too. Luke Caro, hi Leigh, I've got a problem in my pop-top roof. I've made 2 holes with the drill when trying to remove some rivets. How should I fix them? I cannot use Sika because the inner side of the roof is lined. I'll need a bit more information there from you, my man. Yes, a bit more information. Where are the holes? How close are they to the canvas? How close are they to the lining? How close are they to the carpet? If you want me to go more in depth with that question, please email us, info@Combe Valley Campers, with pictures or maybe a video, and we will come up with the best solution for you. XX6581XX has said, T5, can you just hack the bolts off the rear seat rails to get them out? I don't fancy dropping the fuel tank. No, the seat brackets themselves, if I grab something, say if this is your seat bracket and this is your floor, your seat clips into the top and your brackets, so this is your seat bracket, this is your floor. Your seat brackets have studs in them that are pressed or welded into the seat bracket and are pointing downwards. And then underneath the floor level, you have bolts going up. In reality, the only way to remove those seat brackets is to drop the fuel tank. Now we do go over dropping the fuel tank and doing a combi seat fitting on one of our latest videos. So if you do kind of the reverse of that, you'll be able to remove your seat brackets. The fuel tank removal is not as difficult as you think. If you are doing it on a drive, if you have help from your friend for a day and a trolley jack, then it's very easy to do. Make sure the van is fairly empty of fuel as well. You could actually drop the whole fuel tank with only removing the filler neck area. And there are probably 100 videos out there that show you how to do it as well. It's really not that difficult, and it is worth getting those brackets out properly, mainly because they're worth something as well. If you are getting rid of your combi seats and you are getting rid of your seat brackets, people are buying them left, right and centre because they want to convert their panel van into a combi. Luke Caro says, what would you do? I don't mind adding some patches as they won't be visible. So are you saying you've made holes in the canvas? Is that what you're saying? If you have just made holes in the canvas and they're close to the retaining trim around the edge of the van, there is a possibility that you could maybe unscrew that or unrivet that, unless that's what you were doing. You can unscrew, oh, Luke says not in the canvas, okay. Yes, send me some pictures, further pictures then, Caro. Luke Caro, and I will give you some good options moving forward. XX6581XX says, I thought so, a pain. We'll have a look, thank you. You are more than welcome. Yes, if you were closer, we'd be able to drop your tank in less than half hour and get the brackets removed. Like we've said just earlier, we are down in East Sussex, so if that is an option, or if that's not an option for you to do it yourself, please give us a shout. Right, so I'm moving from the diesel heater to the existing fan heater that's under my legs. That's under the workbench here, so the temperature's already gone down quite quickly in here, despite having that heater on in the garage. We have zero insulation, as you can see. Nothing. However, like I said before, I've been speaking with my friends to look into options to maybe get this place a little warmer moving forward. However, it's a big space. It's a big space to insulate, and it's not mine. Right, yeah, Alex says, Dodomat your roof. Yes, absolutely. Sadly, I don't think Dodomat would sponsor my garage. Can you imagine how nice that would be? That expanding foam thing's an option, but again, I don't know. It's going to get warmer soon, and having a diesel heater in here is just fine. So I'm down with it. I'm down with it completely. Yes, nice to have a diesel heater in here. But you're right, if the area is not insulated, it's not going to stay warm at all. Yeah, Goody says get some Celotex up. Absolutely. Again, that has been suggested to me already. In reality, I just need to take the edge off whilst I'm working, because once I am working, you get warm anyway. Can you actually hear that, Warren? Warren says, sounds the same, dude. Get the diesel heater on. Okay, we're getting the diesel heater back on. Boom. Let's get it done. You wait, you've said that now. This is going to kick in. Right, so take note of the time. That is 38 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's see how long this takes to get fired up. And if it does stay loud moving forward, I'll just mount it outside. Maybe I should have done that first. I don't know. Regardless, it's a nice thing to have. So, this is a Q&A, people. There are 22 of you watching right now. Give me some questions. Goody says, keep the heat out. Bet it gets hot there in the summer. It's actually all right. It's a big space. It's got a big door. It's actually not too bad. Warren says, your YouTube, your rules. King Movies 4482 it's come in and says, how was Poland? We were speaking about this earlier, but I'm very happy to have a quick chit chat about it again. Poland was fantastic. Oh, and funnily enough, another question's come in from Swashbuckle. How many hours did it take to get to Poland? Yeah, Poland's fantastic. It's a place where I personally can go and completely turn off. You know, my everyday, day-to-day is Combe Valley Campers, running the business, etc., all that sort of stuff. So to be able to go somewhere and completely turn off is wonderful. You know, not many people there speak English. My mother-in-law doesn't speak English. And it's a place where I can just go and do nothing for a couple of weeks, which was wonderful. But we were able to go and get some snowboarding done. My kids learnt to ski this year, which was brilliant. So yes, had a very good time with it. Thank you very much. How many hours did it take to get to Poland? Now, my wife lives in an area called Lower Silesia that is on the border of Poland and Czech Republic. It's effectively a straight line from Prague to Wrocław, which is one of the main cities in Poland, and it's a 2-hour drive from Prague to Poland. In total, if you were doing it Cannonball Run, it would take you 16 to 18 hours. Is that right? No. I would say maximum 16 hours. We do it over 2 days. We stop in a city called Kassel, Kassel in Germany. And it's a good opportunity to stop halfway through, just to relax, recuperate. We also take a dog with us. I've got 2 young children. So to be able to do 1 or 2 stops during the day of the drive and then stopping in a town with a hotel overnight is just brilliant. Plus Kassel has one of the most fantastic Christmas markets. So we love going there. And if you follow our Instagram or our stories or anything else, you will see I actually did document in a vloggy type style our journey across. So it's around about 900 miles door to door, depending on which route you take. Gosh, that is blowing very cold on my legs before it fires up. Are we listening? Can you hear it ramping up? It's going to kick in. It's going to blast me with tepid heat for the rest of the show. Try and keep that quiet. Yes, so wonderful time out there. Really, really good. Motivates us. Is it possible to extend the heater pipe for the diesel heater? Yes, it is. Now, I've seen lots of people on different forums and Facebook groups have their diesel heater, say over there, for example, and then they'll run PVC pipe all the way up one wall with lots of different outlets to heat up your space evenly rather than just in one position. So that is an option moving forward as well. Motivate says, next time you go to Poland, pass by Hamburg, do pit stop, have a few drinks, etc. Maybe we shall. Although I think it's a little out of the way. Ross Webber is in. Good evening, Ross. He says, love the videos. You've helped speed my build. Thank you very much. I've got a leak on my T5. Second guy tonight with the T5 leak, which drips from the plastic trim near the pollen filter. Could it be a leak from my roof rack? Funnily enough, that's where my leak was. We were just discussing that 5 minutes ago. When I removed the roof rack from my van, because we were filming at the time, I just completely forgot to fill the holes in. And then a couple of weeks ago, when I was putting the split charge system in the 2K, I found a very, very wet cab mat. So basically, dripping had come down through the bolt holes where the roof rack is, leaked in, and found its way onto the floor. Alternatively, if your van has had a replacement windscreen in its life, you may find that the windscreen fitter may have missed a section, and or some of the sealant has parted, or the metal work and the paint work has corrosion between, so there's a gap actually between the screen and the body. You might find you have water leaks coming in there. That is a common trait on the T5 as well. Andy says, dash cams, could a rear facing camera double up as a reversing camera? I guess so. That's not a definitive yes or no. Lots of cars have dedicated reversing cameras that only turn on when you go into reverse. Some people have reversing cameras where you turn on a screen, and others have systems, and we fitted one recently. In fact, one of the reels we did in the last 6 months, we fitted one of these smart reversing cameras, smart rear view mirrors. And if you were to look at it day to day, it just looks like glass with a reversing mirror, but when you turn the screen on, it's actually a split screen. And in that screen, you can see the forward-facing camera and the reversing-facing camera. But if you swipe the screen left to right, you can bring up the rear-facing camera, or you can bring up the front-facing camera independently, or taking up the whole screen. So there's lots of different options there. But if there's a dedicated system that is constantly filming your reverse camera, I don't know if that can be modified to be just... Sorry, if there's a dedicated rear-facing camera, I don't know whether that can be modified to be just a reversing camera. I don't know, I'm afraid. Bagnall Dave, good evening, says, how do I get my son to get a move on converting our van instead of swanning off to Scotland in his Reliant? Beer, hot dinners, I don't know. I guess that's a difficult one, and maybe that's a discussion you need to have with him. But I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Getting your children to do anything is quite difficult, right? But going to Scotland in his Reliant sounds fun. If it's a three-wheeled Reliant, that sounds even more fun. Goggy says it will be worth it. I have some edible. Good for you. Oh, when we go over to Hamburg, he says it will be worth it. I have some edible mushrooms. Wonderful. Bagnall Dave goes on to say, by the way, I love your channel. Thank you very much, my man. Ross Webber says, I'll have a good look. Many thanks. You are more than welcome. My gosh, I've just seen the time and we're at 46 minutes already. Now, once again, like I said at the top of the video, I hope the signal's still good, because I'm on 4G right now, and I hope I'm not being drowned out too much by the diesel heater sitting just there. Now, in terms of what we're doing, I will be doing more content on the Beetle. Now I have the diesel heater in there. I'm not saying I've got more evenings free, but now I've got the diesel heater in there, it's going to give me a little bit more incentive to get back on the Beetle, because I still have a stripped engine, but I've made some progress with that today. And the Beetle still has loads to do. But after I went to Slough Swap Meet before Christmas, I bought some bits for the bug, and I sold lots of bits and pieces, which has given me more money for the bug. And we're still talking to other sponsors, effectively, so that's good. Kieran T, hi mate, what's the story with the purple day van I have seen in many videos? Are you talking about the Chevrolet? Is that the one you're talking about? I'll wait for your response. Sorry, do excuse me, I'm going to have a little bit of my e-cig. I know it's not great for me, but I'll be back. Look at the beautiful Beetle. Whilst I'm waiting for Kieran to respond. There we are, he says yes. Right. Silly boy. So, the Chevrolet in the background of many, many videos is a project that we've been working on for many, many years. And I've just spoken to the owner. That is a project we took on a very long time ago. And that is a project that has had many ups and downs, and it's one that's never had a finish date, effectively. And that is down to me, that is my fault. However, we are finishing it very soon, and it will be for sale. It will be for sale. Now, that van, obviously imported from the States a long time ago, was re-registered in the UK, then it went out to the British forces in Germany, then it went over to NATO because it belonged to a soldier, and now it's come back to the UK, and it will be re-registered with a fresh ticket, fresh MOT, fresh service, fully restored. It has zero rust, it has a fresh paint job, and it'll have a fresh day van interior, and then it's going up for sale. Because the owners who commissioned me to redo that build, they have come to the realisation, sadly, that they cannot afford to run a 5.8 litre diesel, 5.8 litre small block Chevy, or whatever the engine size is, despite the fact that it does have LPG. So, it does have LPG. Kieran says, are you going to call it Eleanor? No, it's not an Eleanor. It's a pain in my ass. That's what I'm going to call it. And it's so big, it takes up so much room. However, it is en route to being finished. And I've never really spoken about it before because there's so many factors behind it. But I spoke with the owner this weekend and it's being sold. Once we have finished it, it is being sold. So as soon as it's done, you'll find it on maybe our website. We haven't quite decided yet, but we are talking with customers about it. Customer is an old soldier friend of mine. Wonderful guy, and he has been extremely patient, and there's been patience both ways because he got posted overseas. There's so many different things, but he's a wonderful guy, and yes, we spoke over the weekend, and it is going to be finished very soon with lots of mod cons. Yeah, it's cool. Kieran T says, my dad had one years ago, so I've always liked them. Cool background story too. Yeah, it's a really cool van actually, and when it turned up, it was a different paint scheme. It had a very, very home-built interior, but basically when it was with us, we realised it was missing a lot of parts, so we actually bought a breaker van. It was a complete Chevy G20, but it was one of these high-spec builds from the States from the 80s, 90s, so when this breaker van came to us, we found lots of instructions. It would have originally had a SNES and a TV in it and lots of heater controls and an electric rock and roll bed and all sorts of stuff. So we managed to get a lot of parts out of that one to help complete the build. Like we found good straight bumpers, good straight mirrors, windows, windscreen, etc, etc. So yes, it's a cool car for sure, but one I'll be very happy to see the arse of when it goes out of my door. That is for sure. Right, we have effectively 8 minutes left. If you have any questions about the YouTube channel, about me, about Poland, about the Beetle, about any of our projects, please let me know. You've got 8 minutes. I generally talk for a couple of minutes on each, so we've potentially got 3-4 questions that I can fit in before we close for the night. I'm going to keep talking until 9 o'clock. That is in under 8 minutes time. It'll give me enough time to finish my beer too. So I did ask at the top of the video as well, what are you drinking? Not many people have responded. Alex says, want to source and install a petrol heater in my van? Petrol heater? Aren't petrol heaters, I mean they're quite rare, and I've never fitted one. I'll be straight up. I've never fitted a petrol heater. I've fitted plenty of gas heaters and I've fitted plenty of diesel heaters. I've never fitted a petrol heater. I would have to look into it. Kieran T says, nice one, sounds like a lot of work. Might be in touch with some dodo matting soon. Brilliant. Look forward to hearing from you. Swashbuckle says H2O. Just drinking water tonight then, my man. Or lady. Got me equal. Cool. So in terms of the bug, I'll quickly talk about that if we've got no further questions coming in. Cheers, Swashbuckle. Bloke, drinking water. Lovely job. Thank you for tuning in. So I have got a whole shelf full of tinware to clean up. So just a bit behind the scenes. That's where you're mounted. That's my toolbox. In fact, I can unplug. There we go. So that's normally where you're mounted. That's my toolbox. That's a whole shelf of parts for that. That is the engine out of the bug. That is the very cheap engine I found, which has been my source of inspiration, my source of knowledge, and source of spare parts. So, in terms of the Beetle, we have all of that stuff to clean, all of that stuff to go through. We're going to be replacing seals, replacing gaskets, making sure everything's clean. I may well paint the tinware. I don't know. Whether I can be bothered or not, I don't know. It's going to take long enough to clean the damn stuff. So I just want to get this bug up and running. I want to be in this in the spring. Now, question to you. Do we slam the Beetle or do we raise the Beetle and put it on big tyres? I'm happy with either. What do you think we should do? Raise the bug, have it off-roady, or make it look like that, which is my inspiration picture. because it's effectively going to be a marketing tool anyway. So it will look cool either way. Motivate says, oh, last question. Go ahead. And Kieran T says, oh, any news or updates on the bay window that you were bringing back the patina on? When I spoke about Slough swap meet earlier, and I bought a ton of parts. I was very good at Slough. Like, I went there to sell, and sell I did. But I also went there with the aim to find some really good replacement parts for the bay. And the one reason I did Slough is because I found a near complete interior door card set for a Westphalia. And we're talking original Westphalia door cards. So I went there to Slough, picked up all the door cards. I've got the roof liner, I've got original interior panels, I've got interior Westphalia cushions, I've got loads of stuff ready for the Westphalia build, which is awesome. I also found window seals, floor sections, I've got welding panels, I've got so much stuff. So we've not forgotten about it. It's just we've got a lot going on at the moment. So, but I will be working on, my aim is to do 1 week video bay, 1 week video T25, 1 week video T5, 1 week video bug, if not more. You might find little bits and pieces in between on Instagram and whatever else. So please be sure to tune into Instagram. If you don't already, please follow us on Instagram. Not because I'm trying to get followers, because you might miss out on updates. And we do a lot on Instagram in terms of our daily projects and things like that. So, yes. Well, there we go. 3 people have said low. I vote low. Kieran T says practically lowered. Warren says drop it like it's hot. It has an adjustable beam in it. And I like lowered as well. I haven't had a lowered car for a while actually. Bully was the last car we lowered and it was great and it drove beautifully, but for the type of travelling we do, we needed to lift it up. And I like it both ways. So that's fine. Motivate, last question says, I have a large 4mm plywood panel. How can I make a one-piece roof panel easily and beautifully? With an even bigger plywood panel, you need a 10x5 sheet of ply. Now, I don't know in my head what that is metric, but if you want to make a T5 one-piece headliner, you need a 10x5 sheet. End of. Kieran T says, wicked, keep them coming. Love the Sunday night YouTube browsing. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoy this hour. You know, technically I'm talking to none of you. I'm talking to my phone and can only see me. So I'm technically talking to myself for an hour, which is really bizarre. However, all of your comments, oh, that was Marcus, my man Marcus, who said he voted low. I love chatting with you guys on a Sunday, guys and gals. I love chatting with you people on a Sunday evening. I love giving the feedback. I like receiving the feedback. I like telling you what we're up to. And it's just a nice place to hang out for an hour. You know, we get to drink a beer. And if you're tuning in next Sunday, what would you like to see us drinking? What would you like me to talk about? Would you like me to do more work on the Beetle as we talk? Or would you just like a more informal chit chat like this next Sunday? Leave it down below. You've got a minute and a half left. Motivate says 10x5. Yes, a 10x5 sheet of ply. Generally, ply comes readily available in an 8x4. And when I say 8x4, I mean dimensionally, large piece of ply, it generally comes in an 8x5, but to do a one-piece headliner, 8x4, you need a 10x5, which you can get hold of. You might just need to do a special order from your local woodyard. Alex says, go buy some Lafrague 10. I hope I'm saying that right. I'll go and find some Lafrague 10. I do have quite a healthy stock of alcohol. I've just had my 40th birthday. I got lots of alcohol given to me. I can show you. I'm not going to be drinking it all, but I can show you what I got because I've got some lovely bottles of vodka. Have a 40th birthday in Poland, you receive lots of vodka. Motivate, I said, I think that means 4mm isn't enough. 4mm thickness of ply is fine. Generally, we make a headliner out of a 3.6, so that's fine. But in terms of the larger dimensions, the sheet of material you will need is a 10 foot by 5 foot. Right, we have got 5 seconds left. Kieran, you've just got in there. He says, sorry to hog the chat, but I'm after a left armrest for a T4 in the Inca fabric. Got any spare in your box of goodies? Spares at work, please, mate. Happy to clean it up if it's a bit grubby. Sadly, I do not. Your best place is eBay or Facebook Marketplace or any of the breakers like Cali Campers and things like that. But sadly, I do not have any parts for T4, I'm afraid. Most of the parts I did get rid of at Slough, which paid for Christmas. So yes, very nice to see you all this evening, guys. Like I said before, I absolutely love this chat. I love hanging out. It's brilliant. So, oh, and John Sears back. John, you are here just in time to say goodbye. I'm going to finish my beer. Damn, it's cold. Have a good evening, everybody. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great.